last time for that astral ride when we were in Hanle. So we were staying at that.
The homestay thing.
Yeah, which is very popular.
Yeah.
So there a rider turned up on a Himalayan. He'd had a flat, and while he was fixing the flat, he did, what did he do? Did something, and basically a truck ran over one of the tires. So he was basically stranded.
Yeah.
And while we were hearing this horror story,
Hmm.
and he made it, right? While we were listening to this horror story, the inn owner, he was talking about, it's crazy out here. There's another guy who's been missing, who was also on a motorcycle.
Hmm.
And we were like, what could have happened? It's like it takes all of one puncture
Yeah.
at the wrong time of the day.
Correct.
If it happened, let's say about 4 or 5 o'clock
Yeah.
in the evening,
Yeah.
he's done.
He's done.
Because he's going to be stranded. There's nobody on that road.
Yeah.
And it's going to get real cold
Real fast. And if you're not prepped for it, you're in trouble.
Yeah, so a small thing, like the same thing where I started off like riding off-road
Yeah.
and having a puncture versus in a completely different environment.
Yeah.
And I had never thought of it that way.
Yeah, which is why when I go to Ladakh, you start as early in the morning as you dare. Usually not before sunrise. Even if it's before sunrise, it's half an hour before sunrise, never more than that. You don't want to be out there in the dark when the things are cold because there's black ice, which you anyway can't see. I don't want darkness added to that. But I definitely want to be at my destination by 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Yep.
And that is because I'm trying to save 4 hours of daylight for an emergency. It had nothing to do with my ability to ride. I would do this in the plains where I would start at 4 in the morning and I'd run till 8 o'clock in the night. It's not a crisis.
And I remember that I was completely flabbergasted. We were at Pangong.
Yeah.
And we had reached way before sunset. We were already changed, rested, chai, wine, all done. It's gotten dark.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing bikes roll in.
Correct.
And not just a rider with a pillion, lady. And they're looking for a place to stay. They
That's
don't.
terrible.
They don't have a booking.
Yeah.
And to me, that was like, I can't even imagine. That's a disaster.
That's asking for an emergency.
Yeah. That's asking for an emergency. I don't know what happened to them. I mean, it was a small village, presumably, and hopefully, yes, they did. But that was like was for me like a worst case scenario.
I think the thing about Ladakh is that once people realized that they were in this kind of trouble, they would have gotten help. Because in that kind of remote a place, people will not leave you alone without trying to help.
Yeah.
So in that sense, you have a backup. But to be able to take you and your partner or friend and plan your day so that you're arriving in a high altitude, cold place late in the night, 2 up on a motorcycle, solo, and you don't have a place to stay and you don't have a plan, that's just terrible planning.
Yeah.
It just needs to go sideways in one direction and you're so screwed.
Yeah, plan.
Yeah, so when the first time I went to Ladakh, everybody gave me 30,000 warnings about altitude sickness. But I prepped so much for it. And not by taking medication for it, by understanding how it works, how much water do I need to drink, etc., etc. I've never really experienced altitude sickness. It doesn't mean I won't have it the next time I go. But I've understood that it is such a vital part of traveling in those altitudes that if you take it lightly and you say, kuch nahi hoga, dekh lenge, fir to kuch na kuch hoga. Right? And to me, that fear is healthy. It's not paralyzing fear where you won't try it. But that fear is there.
Yeah. We're at the other end of the spectrum. He doesn't get affected by it. I get affected by it every time. And I've tried everything I can to avoid it. And it still happens. I mean, thankfully, the degree has reduced. I don't know how. But the last time we went for reboot, that was, I think, the easiest of all my trips to Ladakh.
That's because I was with him and I was telling him what to do.
Yeah, that too. You thought this video was long? Boy, oh boy. You gotta head to the main MotorInc channel and see what we can really do.